the only way to get, it's not the only way to get in debt is through a loan, by borrowing money. That is not the only way. There are many other ways. Alright? And that is what we want to talk about. Ahkam al-Dain. And actually, this part of the book, he calls it Ahkam al-Dain, but he doesn't talk about Ahkam al-Dain. He talks about something else. And it's worth if that is what it's called. The whole sub-chapter here. It's really what he's talking about is Ahkam al-Hajr. Al-Hajr. And we will talk about that when we get to that point. But in general, he's talking about the Dain. Because Al-Hajr comes as a result of the Dain most of the time. Okay. So, when we talk about the Dain, the debt, usually you can be in debt to a human being and you can be in a debt to Allah. True? These fara'id that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala obligated you to do, they're debt, you're in debt. If you don't do it, you're in debt. That's why you have to make it up most of the time. So when you miss a salah, you're in a debt. So you have to pay it off, you have to make it up. When you don't pay your zakah, you're in debt. So there you can be in debt or in dain to Allah and in dain to human beings. Okay? That is the general meaning of a dain or a debt. Okay? Then the Prophet ﷺ said, دَيْنُ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ أَنْ يُوفَى. The debt of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is more worthy to be paid off. Okay? That's why if you have an obligation, if you walk in a masjid, or something happened that you miss your salah, okay, you have an excuse, legitimate excuse to miss a faridah, and you usually pray a sunnah before that faridah, the nafila or al-ratiba that comes with that faridah. When you want to make up, what you make up first, you make the faridah, because that is a debt of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have to pay it off right away. And then you can make your nafila or ratib. Always start with the faridah. So if you miss dhuhr, and you usually pray the ratiba before dhuhr, and asr time comes, you pray your asr, rush and pray your dhuhr. Don't spend time praying nafila. Pray dhuhr. Alright? Okay. Or if there is a different opinion in order, but that is not the issue here. So, you can be in debt to Allah, and you can be in debt to human beings. That is the germ. But when we talk in books of fiqh about ahkam al-dain or the issues and the rulings of al-dain, we are talking about the specific meaning, and that is concerning your debt to human beings. Alright? Your debt to human beings. Okay. So, when we talked about al-qard, or the loan, or borrowing, lending and borrowing, we said the meaning of that is you give some money to someone to own it. So he can use it the way he wants, then he will give it back to you. Right? That's the meaning of al-qard. So if we understand this is the meaning of a loan or borrowing and lending, then we understand that every qard is some kind of debt, of dain. But not every dain is some kind of debt, because sometimes you can end up in a debt without giving someone money to own it, to use it, and then pay it back to you. Alright? And the example I gave is when you bought something, لأجل, when you buy something financing, you're in debt, but it's not a loan, but you are in debt. Now you owe him money. Right? Just to give you one major importance to this, because if we're gonna say borrowing or buying that property in financing is a loan, that means you have to apply the laws of loans. That means if I'm gonna sell you that property cash right now, or you pay it over the next 12 months, then I cannot add to the price, because it's a loan, and every loan that brings benefit is riba. Remember? But it's not loan. But the ulama, most of them, and the correct opinion is, I can sell you ajali, and you pay me right now for a price, and I can sell you the same thing, the same item, over يعني آجل over 12 months, over 2 years, over 10 years, and I can add money to it. Okay? I can raise the price. No one said this is riba. Or some said, but the more correct opinion is not riba. This is buying and selling. Because the time has value. That time where I'm spreading the payments over has a value. That's why I'm entitled to get that value. That's why I raise the price. So if I sell you this mic and you pay me right now, this is mine, and you want to buy it, I tell you pay me cash $10. Right now you pay me $10. Or if you want me to finance it for you over the next 3 months, then it's going to be $12. There's nothing wrong with that. But once you say, I'll take it over 3 months and I give it to you, now you are in debt to me, $12. Because a lot of people mix up. Because a lot of people say, I borrowed from so and so, $12,000. How did you borrow it? I bought a car and I have to pay him over the next 12 months. That is wrong. You did not borrow, you bought, but you're in debt. يعني يقول اقترضت. أنت لم تقترض، أنت اشتريت. Because الأحكام are different. The rulings are different for القرض than for الدين. For the loan from the debt. So very important that we focus on that. So in general, just in summary, every loan is a debt. Every loan will get you in a debt. But not every debt is a loan. Meaning you are not in debt. Not everyone who's in debt is because borrowed money. There are many different means for that. Now, when we talk about this chapter, and that is al-Hajr or al-Hajr, we are talking about what happens to the person who borrows money and then it's time to pay back. What if he doesn't pay? Alright? And Islam came to talk about that. And the Prophet ﷺ has sayings in that. Okay? And the Sunnah is authentic in that. So what happens? Because a lot of people remember when we said there is no riba. The credit card is haram because one of the conditions is if you don't pay on time, you have to pay interest. Remember? So someone will say, how do we guarantee? If we put in a credit card that if you are late, then there is no interest, everyone will be late. Unfortunately. Alright? That's the way it works. So we have to enforce it and threaten them and put conditions that are haram to make them pay. So someone will ask, how do we make them pay? What is the solution? Okay, we want to avoid that, but what is the solution that the Sharia has brought? Okay, that is what we will be talking about tonight. If you lend someone money and now he doesn't, and now we're talking about under Islamic Sharia, he doesn't want to pay. What you do? What your options? Okay, that is the topic of tonight, inshallah. So, when we say al-Hajr, in the language, al-Hajr means al-man' wa-tadiq. Okay, al-man' wa-tadiq, meaning to make it tight and to prevent. Okay, to block someone from something, that is Hajr. If you find in Arabic, you find the term Hajr al-Sahhi. Okay, quarantine. Hajr al-Sahhi, when someone is so sick and his sickness is infectious, okay, and contagious, they isolate him, like they're doing with the swine flu. Until they treat them, they isolate them. They take them out of their families, or they might take the whole family, and whoever was associated with them until they treat them. Quarantine. That is al-Hajr al-Sahhi. Okay? Meaning isolating those sick people from the rest of the society until they get treated, so they don't spread the infection. When we talk about, in our situation, what we are talking about, we're not talking about quarantine or Hajr al-Sahhi. We are talking about freezing the assets. Okay? I tried to find one word or a term for Hajr that we're speaking about. In English, I couldn't find. So the closest is asset freezings, or freezing someone's assets. someone's money, having the access to his money, okay? Stopping him from having access to his money, that is the target. And this is موجودة